Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Right from the two and the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that. STL Music, mama, we did it. Where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Every girl, rubber rock stats, we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio.
Enjoying Sweep the League TV? Don't keep it to yourself. Share with friends and let them join the fun.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, RAYNE Fernandez.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Sweep the League. We are live again tonight. Haven't been live. We weren't live yesterday. Like I mentioned before earlier, yesterday we had a little bit of something come up, so I had to take some PTO time. I always give Gio crap about it, but I ended up taking some PTO time yesterday to take care of some stuff. So we are back live tonight. It's going to be myself. It's going to be the Coach Gio. It's going to be Derek Gervin, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. We got some news to come out that let everybody know about. Plus, we're going to get into some WNBA talk. One of my Rudy rants is actually going to come out when it comes to the WNBA. Hopefully, Derek can kind of keep me calm and cool during that WNBA talk. And also, Cowboy fans, are y'all ready? Because Nick Wright came out and said the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in the NFC East. We're going to let Coach Gio have a little whirl at that. Nonetheless, also Trey Lance, CeeDee Lamb signs his big contract. He's got a lot to get into as well. Plus, conversation I had with Derek Gervin recently, Coach Gio may be a little upset because his Cooper Flag boy from Duke may not be the best prospect in 2025. We're going to get some info on that for you Spurs fans out there. We're going coast to coast tonight here on Sweep the League. Let's bring on the guys here. First, let's bring in Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. Derek, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing fine, my man. Representing those San Antonio Spurs in the NBA today, so all is well.
You're wearing the right shirt because, like I mentioned before, we're going to talk a little NBA. Everybody on the Spurs fandom is basically saying, we want Cooper Flag, until I texted you and called you and said, hey, you may want to take a look at a couple of other prospects before we talk about Cooper Flag. So we'll get into that talk here in a little bit, but we can't keep the guy waiting. The guy was actually on time today. I'm going to bring him in quick because he's on time. It's Coach Gio, man. I give you so much flack for taking PTO, Gio. I had to take some yesterday. So, I mean, I'm sorry. I will never give you flack again, ever.
If everyone must know, I do not actually have real PTO. Everybody must know. So I want to give a big shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. They got a big game coming this weekend.
Very big game. And is it true they haven't lost in like 7 years or something like that? Is what they said.
Well, the regular season, the Dogs. Listen, Kirby Smart's doing it. Listen, he's doing a great job, man. He's riding this ship. Tough schedule this year. But I'm actually going on a cruise starting this weekend. So,
when do you leave?
Sunday, so I will be gone next week. So we already have to put in that PTO.
All right. Well, we're not using PTO this time. We're using your vacation time.
You know what? I can just call in sick.
Or you can call in sick. That's fine. I'm gonna need a doctor's excuse for any day, anytime over 3 days old. I need a doctor's excuse. So be sure to email that to me when you get a chance, please.
So yeah, I'll be out, but I will catch the Georgia game on that Saturday.
Of course you will. You can't miss it. You can miss the show. You just can't miss the Georgia game. I totally understand. We're less important when it comes to Georgia Bulldogs.
And Florida State, you should be ashamed of yourself. I give you an opportunity to show the world who you are, put you in my top 12 rankings for playoffs, and look what you do to me. You lose to our baby brother in Georgia Tech. Ridiculous.
I'll tell you what, Derek was on his couch probably smoking the victory cigar when he saw Florida State lose because he doesn't have Florida State in his final 12.
I will say I did pump up Georgia Tech a little bit to you, Rudy.
You did.
During the offseason, I said, listen, they're heading in the right direction. They gave Georgia all it could handle last season in that matchup. So Georgia Tech coming in, I felt like could compete. Florida State looked flat. Now, granted, Rudy, they did play in a different country, which, look, I'm not saying it's a major factor, but playing in a country, Ireland, it's possible there could be a little bit of jet lag going on. If they were at home in Florida State, could have been a different story, but nonetheless, they needed to seal the deal, and they did not. Their 0-1 opens the door maybe for Virginia Tech and maybe Cam Ward in the Hurricanes.
Maybe so. You know, how do you go play a game in Ireland and don't have Notre Dame in that game? That befuddles me big time. So, real quick, look at some of the comments here. Tim Gonzalez, of course, the Blue Devils and Tar Heels still suck. Of course, they still suck. That's why I'm sporting the hat. Good evening, Joel. Thank you for joining us in. Chris Leha, Mr. MCS General Contracting himself. Appreciate you joining us tonight, Leha. Says, what's good, everyone? Rudy had to use his PTO. I had to use my PTO time yesterday. So, and Joel's right. You got to use it or lose it. So, we got to use it at one point or the other. How about that Georgia Tech FSU game? We just talked about it a little while ago. We'll get into more depth in that. Chris is right. We don't want no damn flag. We don't want a damn flag. So hold that thought, Chris, because we're going to get into that NBA talk for you guys later when it comes to Cooper Flag. Derek, I needed you last Friday night. Me and Rudy was not on the same page. We definitely were not on the same page that night, Derek. But, you know, it happened.
Concerning what?
It was ACC talk. So that was
okay.
We had a lot of arguments when it came to ACC football talk. So apparently Tim came out on top. I had FSU in my top 12, but damn, that quarterback is horrible. Wonder why he is a third team in 3 years. Yeah, why is he a third?
I thought he played well last year for Oregon State.
He played well last year.
To me, it looks like, Rudy, when expectations are higher, right? When he goes to Oregon State and Corvallis, there's not much expectations for that team. But
yeah,
you see what happens. He's at Clemson, didn't work out. Now he's at Florida State, and at least for the first game, didn't really compete. I mean, he competed, but it just looked flat, Rudy. It just didn't look right.
Yeah, it didn't look right at all. It looked kind of terrible, to be honest with you.
Kind of terrible for a team. But Florida State, you're not going to fool me again. I'm not going to trust you anymore this season.
So he's not in your top. They're not in your top 12. Then we'll just be honest about that. We'll get it out of the way. You're gonna basically back out of your top.
They're not done. They're not done because Virginia Tech and Miami can lose a bunch of games. And Rudy, if they win all their games, including the ACC championship, they're probably in the playoffs.
I don't know, Derek. I don't know if I can trust it anymore.
I'm just listening, man. You got Florida State's gonna lose 3 or 4 times this year. And as far as you guys still not giving Miami credit, when they play this Saturday after that game against Florida,
they give them
they
credit,
might be looking
Derek.
Florida State. Last year they had some stuff happen near playoff time, of course. But if you look at their lineup, look at them this past week. They weren't good on either side of the ball, and I just think sometimes teams just doesn't have it. They don't have what they had last year, I'll say, and I just think they might not even beat Memphis if you really want to be honest about it. That could be another L, and then they've got a couple more possibly coming down near the second half of the season. So I think it's going to be a rough year for them. I'm not going to be surprised at all. That's why I didn't have them in my 12.
Rudy, I mean, look, sometimes that first week, a little bit overreaction. Let's wait and see. But Derek's right. Right now, it's not looking good for Florida State.
No, it's not looking good at all for Florida State. I never wanted to just beat my head on the wall before like that. I just was like, oh my God, it's really gonna start this way. And we also almost saw SMU go down. That's even crazier.
Nevada, a team that, by the way, had 56 new players, Rudy. As I'm actually watching the game, I did have some betting interest. But anyway, I'm sitting there watching the game. 56 new players. And I got to give it up to Nevada. They came there ready to play, didn't have enough. SMU is going to be a problem, Rudy. They can put up points. They look sluggish, and maybe it's just Nevada, of course. But I expect SMU to be a pretty good team this season, and I thought Nevada hang in there.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good college football season. College football really kicks off this weekend. You got a bunch of games on tap, including UTSA with the home opener with Kennesaw State. Just a quick tidbit. Sweep the League is going to be representing all you guys over there at UTSA football. Myself, it's going to be Derek. It's going to be Shemaya as well. You'll catch at least two of us there at just about every single home game. So we won't be there this weekend. I've actually got a family event. We're going to San Japan this weekend, and that was planned a while back before I heard about credentials. And I know Derek's busy and Shemaya's busy as well. So we're going to be out this weekend, but week 4, when they come back, I think they play Houston that weekend. That's when we're going to be at the game. So be sure to catch us. We'll be at the tailgate for sure. Pretty much every single home game. We're going to get some video. We'll talk to some of you guys out there. We'll be passing out some stuff. So you'll be catching us at the UTSA football games. We'll provide as much coverage for y'all as possible. Appreciate UTSA for allowing us to be part of the media team there for them as well, and help bring as much coverage as we can for UTSA football, one of my top 12 teams in the end. So just throwing that out there for you guys. Definitely birds up. So, all right, man, we're going to break. We're going to get into the show real quick here. MCS General Contracting. It's next segment, or first segment, brought to you by MCS General Contracting, the best in the business. You know, man, we had rain. Rain causes a lot of issues. You know, the thing is when Leha and the boys, they get it done right. If it rains, they're going to come out. They're going to fix it. They're going to make it right. No matter what, they're going to make every job they do 100% satisfied and perfect. That's MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. I got to go in. I'm going to start with WNBA here. And I'm starting it off because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I got to go on a little rant here. And it involves Angel Reese. It really does. I get sick and tired of the bashing on Twitter or X, on Facebook, because everybody bitches on social media how Angel Reese has 22 rebounds, 20 rebounds, 6 of which are because of her missed layups. They're offensive rebounds, yada, 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 yada. You're laughing, but yada, yada. This is what I go back on. I've played under Coach Conchas at St. Gregory's, who's a really great coach, and Coach Rudy. My 8th grade year was under Keith Edmondson, former NBA player. I've learned under Coach Joe Cortez from Central Catholic, one of the best coaches in Texas, period. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day, Derek, one thing that was always prominent and always mentioned was always follow your shot, because the rebound may just come to you if you miss it. So why are people bashing Angel Reese for getting multiple rebounds off of her misses? She's not Steph Curry. She's not the greatest inside, she's not the greatest inside game. She's not Wilt. She's not Bill. She's not Tim Duncan. But you know what? She's aggressive. And if people have a damn problem with her being an offensive rebounder off of her own misses, why is that an issue? If they have a problem with it, jump on the other side of the game and say, you know what? I'm going to ridicule the Aces. I'm going to ridicule Seattle because y'all can't rebound. That's what it tells me. Is it fair to criticize Angel Reese for following one of the skills that we learn as basketball players growing up?
Well, you know that's a touchy subject for me today. I actually posted a video or two about it earlier today, and it's
Yeah.
really sad. I like to have fun on here, but a lot of her people that are being negative are people that are into the racial divide. And
Yeah.
that goes both ways with her and Caitlyn. I'm tired of hearing everything. If you say something negative about Caitlyn, it's because people want to say label you as racist. If you say something about Angel, they want to label you as racist, the Barbie bitch, and all that kind of nonsense. And it's the same with Caitlyn. Angel has played spectacular basketball. If you're talking about lifting your team up, she's not the best offensive player we've ever seen,
No.
but she plays hard and she's very relentless. If you take her off of that team, they're not a very good team. They're one of the teams at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah.
And so it's the same with Caitlyn as well. If you take Caitlyn off the Fever, they're one of the bottom teams in the WNBA. But both ladies have done something spectacular for the WNBA and for basketball in general. They're both setting records. And you know, Rudy, I already told you, I have them both as co-rookie of the year. I couldn't pick one over the other. Caitlyn does her role very well. She lifts her team. Angel does her role very well. She lifts her team. And those are the two players that have played the most minutes on both teams. So there's a reason that these coaches are trusting in them. No coach wants to be fired. So you're going to put the players out there to give you the best opportunity to win. And Angel plays hard, man. She's actually improved. If you look at that little, I'm going to call it ugly because it is, that little one-hand set shot.
Yeah.
She never dribbles. She never dribbles the ball when she shoots it. It's always that set shot. But if you look as the season has went on, has progressed, she's shooting it better. She's
Yeah.
shooting the ball from that 10 feet area better. So she has improved. And same with Caitlyn. They both improved. Neither one of them has had a stellar season, if you really want to be honest. Caitlyn's averaging 5 turnovers. Her shooting percentage is not what we're accustomed to. She's shooting 41% from 2-point range and 33% from 2-point range, from 3-point range. I'm sorry, but she
Yeah.
elevates her team in more ways than one. And Angel does the same with her team. So both ladies have done fantastic jobs. Remember, we're talking about two rookies, and both are setting records. And Angel's going to break another record, the rebound record, and she's probably already broken the offensive rebound record. The other teams are not letting her get the offensive rebounds. There are 5 players on the other team that's trying to stop her. And if they can't do that, that's on them. But I'm not going to discredit her or Caitlyn because to me, they've both been spectacular. They've had absolutely fantastic seasons.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Joel says it perfectly. Boxing out is a fundamental. It really is. I mean, he says even on like NBA. Okay, well, that's beside the point. But boxing out is something we learn as basketball players at a young age to box out. If they can't box out, I mean, it just shows how much more aggressive Angel Reese is on the boards. And you can't ridicule her. You know what? She throws up a shot, misses it. I mean, I look at it, you know, if you go to a high school game, a women's high school game, do we really see them hitting more shots than the men do? Chances are probably not. You're going to see a lot more misses. Even layups are taken for granted at the high school level when it comes to women basketball. But because you miss a layup, are you supposed to quit? No. You go, you get your board, you get your rebound. There's no rule against getting a million offensive rebounds. If you have an opportunity to get an offensive rebound, you get the damn ball. That's exactly what the
Rudy,
is.
can I say this quickly, man? Look, I want you to think about this. They played 29 games now out of a 40-game season, right?
Mhm.
So the talk all year has been about her missing and getting her own rebounds, right? How come the other teams haven't adjusted to it? You know why? Because she's relentless. If you remember, there was a play the last game. She missed the shot under the basket, and there was like 4 different rebounds she got. But it wasn't the ball hitting under the rim and coming right back to her. The ball went up over the rim, and all 3 or 4 people, including Cardoso, they were going after the loose ball. And who kept coming up with it? Angel Reese. So they need to give her credit for that, man. She's not the greatest offensive player, but just her, she makes up for it like a Dennis Rodman. I told you she's a female Dennis Rodman, and I give her credit for that.
100%. What do you got, Joe? I know you're seething at the mouth right now.
No, I mean, look, I've seen those comments. I think August 25th 5th. I did see a post that she had, I think, missed 64 shots and had 43 rebounds. I mean, look, as we could see, her offensive game isn't quite there yet. Yes, she's missing shots around the rim, but as Derek said, she doesn't getting those rebounds as well. She's a menace around that rim. She's going to continue to get better and better. I think people just continue to lash out, and I don't know, Derek, if it has anything to do with her when she was in college and how outspoken she was about certain things, and maybe it's just rub people the wrong way. I mean, there's a lot of that.
Remember that?
Yeah, I'm saying so. There's some of that as well playing a role into maybe some of the hatred. She's kind of been that villain role, but at the end of the day, look, she's still getting rebounds, right? Yeah. It's still a stat, and I can only imagine what her offensive game will be as she continues to put that work in. You also got to remember, as I told Derek, same for Caitlin, they didn't really have an off season. Derek, they finished the W or the college basketball season, get drafted, and then within like 2 weeks, I was so surprised, the season starts. They really had no rest, and then they had the Olympics and all that stuff, and did give them some time to rest up. But look, time will tell. But this whole Angel Reese hate just got to stop. I've seen it, and yeah, I've chuckled, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's like, guys, just stop. It's just not a good look.
Yeah, you're making fun of a player and ridiculing a player for being aggressive and for doing what she's supposed to do, and that's her job, to get rebounds, lucky, Rudy, to score.
That she's not scoring. If she's making most of those shots, she would easily win Rookie of the Year, because she would be averaging a much higher point total than she is, and she's missing those shots. Eventually, those shots are probably gonna fall, right? It's just the kind of the percentages next season, the season after that. So she's here to stay. She ain't going nowhere. I love the aggressiveness. She plays with passion. She's only going to continue to get better and better. It's just bound to happen.
Yeah.
Rudy, can I put an end to this myth about Caitlin being such a classy woman and Angel being just the opposite?
Sure.
You guys watched the Caitlin play in college, right?
Yeah.
Remember the episode when the fan ran onto the court and Caitlin ran into the fan and then portrayed it like the fan hurt her?
Yeah, I do remember that after the game. Yeah.
Okay, when the story really came out, which one, when they showed it over and over, who initiated the contact? Wasn't that Caitlin?
It was Caitlin.
Okay, but you notice people don't talk about that. Yeah. When Caitlin told the young lady, "You're nobody," one girl, she was standing off of her, waving her hand like this and that, and told another one, "You're nobody," when she was at the free throw line. Things like that. So neither one of these ladies are perfect. I don't like Angel's behavior, but I don't like a lot of Caitlin's behavior either. Yeah. So if we're going to talk about it, we have to be fair on both sides. Both of these are young ladies. This is something new for them. They have brought notoriety to the league that we've never had. And I'm like Gio, what he said about them going into straight from college, basically, into a new league, a professional league, getting paid to play for a living. And people need to factor that in as well. Both of these young ladies have still a lot of growing up to do, but they're making progress. And that's what we have to look at. They're young ladies. This is something that's been pushed onto them overnight, basically. And fans have to remember that these young ladies are doing something great for the league, but at the end of the day, they're really very young ladies. And I think they're both going to continue to mature, and they're going to continue to do great things for the league.
Yeah, real quick, before we head to a quick commercial break, Louis in here from La Cocina Taco Truck. Appreciate you joining us, Louis. Great question. Which one would you build your team around? Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark?
Depends on your line, the roster. If you got a roster full of shooters, you might want to build it around Angel, like the New York has done. I mean, the Sky has done. It depends on the roster. We know what Caitlin brings. If you're a team that's missing a point guard that you could depend on, a ball handler, then I'm going to bring in Caitlin. It's just like Phoenix Suns. What is Phoenix Suns? What is their weakness? Point guard.
Point guard. So they win.
So I would bring in Caitlin Clark. If it's another team that has a problem rebounding, then I'm gonna bring in Angel Reese.
So let me put it to another way here for Louis. Say Derek, you're a billionaire and the WNBA said, "Hey, Derek, we're going to grant you an expansion team, and your first pick is either Caitlin and Angel. Which one would it be?" Now, you don't have your roster set, but if you want to build your team with one player first, your first player ever, which one would it be?
I'm gonna answer it for Louis. As a coach, it depends on what style that you want to play. If you're a team that wants to make your living defensively, you're going to take Angel. If you're a team that wants to make it offensively, you're going to take Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Okay. It's fair. What do you got, Joe?
I'm just going with Caitlin. I think no matter the style, I think that the ceiling, at least from what I've seen so far, might be a little bit higher with Caitlin and the WNBA. Sure, both are going to be really good picks, depending, as Derek said, the style of play is also very important. We see that in different sports, but I'm going to take Caitlin just a nudge there, just as, man, if she starts making her shots, having a higher 3-point percentage, I mean, we've seen what the threes can do in the NBA, as mostly every person now, even a big, shoots a three in the NBA. But just that style of play, I think, is conducive, I think, long-term. But
Gio, you said if she starts making them. What if she doesn't?
Yeah, so, I mean, that's obviously the if. And I'm going to throw my money into that if, Derek, and hope that, obviously, she can do that with, kind of having an off season, getting stronger. She talked about that as well, lifting more weights and just improving and getting that body ready for the following season. I'm interested. Do you think really she plays overseas? As many of the WNBA players do, Derek, they do play overseas. Many of them, if not all of them, almost seems like these days. Do you see her doing that?
No, Caitlin, no. I don't see her doing
Caitlin,
it.
No, Rudy. Angel, yes, possibly. Yeah. Caitlin, no, she doesn't have. Caitlin's got a $20 million deal.
Yeah,
they're not going to even let her play overseas.
Yeah, it's more like
but Angel, I can see playing overseas. Yeah,
Angel, I can see. So it sucks because Gio and I, everybody thinks Gio and I don't like each other and we argue too much, and we're on different sides of the fence. But I'm not picking her because of anything like that. If you're going by coaching styles, I would take Angel Reese. I've always liked playing in the post. I prefer playing in the post. I hated playing on the wing. I'm a defensive guy. I'd rather play defense more than anything on a basketball court. But that's just me. So I would probably go with Angel Reese just on that, because I've always felt more so that an inside presence is more needed for me, and I just prefer having a dominant big rather than shooters, because I think, you're able to control the game better when you have a dominant big. You have an inside out game. You can free up more players. So that's just me. I would take a dominant big over a shooter just about any day. I think with a shooter, you're dribbling 50 times. You're going, Luka Doncic and James Harden, trying to get open and trying to get, around the court and 3-point line to 3-point line, and then by the time you know it, there's 4 on the shot clock, and you're taking a bad shot. So,
hey Rudy, when it comes down to playoff time, you want as many possessions as you can get, right?
Yeah,
because it's a more physical game in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and we see these guards don't usually stand up sometime when it comes down to teams making adjustment in the playoffs. But when you have a player like Angel Reese, she's going to always give you extra possessions.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, what's more important? Extra possessions.
Yeah.
So it depends on the coach and the coach's style. But like I said, just the fact that we're even had this debate, that's why I have him as co-rookie of the year.
100%, man. 100%. I know one thing's for sure. We're going to go on a quick commercial break, but I'm taking Daniel Jones over Kyler Murray still. I don't care what Gio says. I'm still taking that.
It's funny, really, that draft we had, with the last pick I left. You know who they gave me?
Daniel Jones.
They gave me Daniel Jones. Out of all the people who was left, the last pick I decided to leave, and it auto picks Daniel freaking Jones. Well, and I just started laughing. I said, ESPN would give me Daniel Jones.
They hear you talking about Daniel Jones all the time.
Hey, Gio, they could have given you Trey Lance.
Oh, God. On that note, when we come back, we'll talk about some Trey Lance.
Trey.
He's thrown more picks than touchdowns, hasn't he, in this preseason? Oh, he's looking fantastic. He's looking amazing. It's Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. It's Coach Gio. Rudy Campos Jr. We'll be back. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Cocina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Cocina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends, they're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? Come visit La Cocina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Pops the mastermind, got the team what we need. 5 rings deep, we the Dynasty Kings. From the Alamo Dome to the banners we bring. Respect the...
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Coach Gio, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr. coming to you on a Tuesday night. We are back live tonight. So tomorrow, I'll get the schedule out for tomorrow. I know it's a nightly or one that we don't go on the night, but heads up, there's going to be some Monday and Wednesdays where we will be live. You won't see my ugly face, but we have someone who's going to be in here with the guys kind of hosting the show for them. So kind of a surprise co-host, surprise host coming on with these guys and talking sports. That way it kind of keeps you guys fresh as well on those days that we're not able to go during the day. So more of that will come out later on this week. But this next segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck. Short drive to New Braunfels, short drive to get satisfied. Louis and his staff can take care of you and all your needs. Best street tacos, best quesadillas on the planet. Hit up La Cocina Taco Truck, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. And before we go any further, I do have a confession, Gio. I had it's been 5 years, roughly about 5 years. Yeah, maybe a little less. I had a burger. I had my first traditional hamburger this past weekend. So shout out to UBP in New Braunfels. My wife wanted a hamburger and I had a hamburger.
Rudy, you haven't had a hamburger in 5 years. You do know there's low carb bread, right? That you can have a burger with.
I am aware of that. I know the keto bread and all that. I was just in the mood to have a hamburger and I gave into it. And you know what? UBP is really
and you're still alive, Rudy. You're still alive.
A little heavier, but I'm alive. I'm still alive.
You're still alive.
I had 2 of them today, Rudy.
Oh, see,
Derek's an everyday occurrence here, Derek.
Hey, gotta have my burgers, man.
See that's Derek though. He's having the burgers for me, man. So that's perfectly fine right there. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So, yeah, I just had to make that confession that I ended up having. I have it in my first traditional hamburger with the bun and everything at UBP. So shout out to UBP in New Braunfels. It's a little taco truck. Yeah, it's a little taco truck, man. It's off of Walnut Road, I believe. I gotta get the other street. But yeah, UBP, Derek. I'll shoot you a text message and location.
Oh,
for it.
you don't have to today, man. We got technology.
Yeah, it's all over Facebook too. That's the reason why we tried it. I was like, I'm gonna try that. So yeah, UBP, shout out to them out there. But this next one is going to be brought to you again by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck. CeeDee Lamb signs. What is he? The second highest paid wide receiver in the game right now. Perfect for Dallas. Gives them the wide receiver one they needed. We knew he was going to get signed. Dak still is unsigned. Does that happen? Right now, points to no. They're not going to probably get a deal done before the season starts. So it's going to be on a one-year deal for Dak. Okay, you go into the season. But what do the Cowboys face without Dakota Prescott? Everybody was on the hype of a Trey Lance sighting. And needless to say, these are the stats for Trey in the preseason. 188 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions in game one against Gio's Rams. Okay, 25 of 41, 72 quarterback rating. Against the Raiders, Trey Lance decided to go off. 151 total passing yards, 1 touchdown. Did run for 34 yards, and he also ran for a touchdown on that. So, again, quarterback rating of 98.3. Not too bad. Okay, not too bad. Game 3 of the preseason. Let me get my glasses right on this one. Because he did go 33 of 49 and did put up some starting QB numbers at 323 yards. He did throw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown. He ran for 90 yards. But he also went Jamarcus Russell on one stat line and threw for 5 interceptions. More interceptions than he had total touchdowns for the preseason. And it all occurred in one game. Cowboy fans have to be worried, right? They've got to sign Dak Prescott. There's nobody else out there that they can trust this team to.
Go ahead, Gio.
Gio's like, I need to answer this now.
Well, look, I caught some of that game. I still think Trey Lance could be a starting quarterback.
You don't have to be positive.
No, I'm telling you right now, those stats, there's something there. I mean, he can run and he can play. He threw a lot of yards. I get empty calories, as Shannon Sharp likes to say. But I think there's something there. Yeah, listen, the 5 interceptions is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But as we talked about, and as I love to talk about, is who's your coach? What style of player are you under? A lot of that is coaching to me. And yeah, Trey Lance, 5 interceptions is terrible. But that 90 to 100 yards rushing, that is something that you like to see. And I just think, to me, the Cowboys right now, I think it's a sinking ship. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this season. They might have a new quarterback next season for all we know. And Mike McCarthy is coaching for his job. Seriously, he's coaching for his job.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
Is he putting anything into Trey Lance? Who knows what's going on during the Cowboys? It's probably a hot mess. But for me, Trey Lance, I still think if Sean McVay can take Baker Mayfield after getting cut from the Carolina Panthers, no one wanted Baker Mayfield. Sean McVay took him with about 5 or 6 games. Where's Baker? What did Baker get this offseason, Rudy? Please tell me.
Well, he got the bag. He did get the bag.
He gets the bag. And yes, you could say, well, we saw something of Baker in Cleveland. Yes, we did. But at the end of the day, he got cut by the Carolina Panthers and had no job and was on another team. So I just think it depends on the coach, where he goes, style of play. That all plays into that. And a coach who believes in you. And I'm not sure Dallas really believes, because right now they are really, I'm telling you, man, I really don't think this team makes the postseason.
Dude, you mentioned the coach. So why couldn't he be successful with one of the best quarterback coaches in the league in San Francisco?
Rudy, he was hurt. He was hurt. Brock Purdy happened.
I understand Brock Purdy happened.
Brock Purdy happened, and it did not give Trey Lance. They wanted Trey Lance to eventually take over for Jimmy G. And Trey Lance gets hurt. He's in and out. It just never worked out. but give me a healthy Trey Lance in that offense. Sam Darnold played decent in an offense. He has a starting job now in Minnesota. Now, granted, it was because of injuries. Yeah, it's forced. But nonetheless, Sam Darnold, if he's playing like that where he was in San Francisco when he had some time to play, the Vikings could do something this year. But
it sucks when Trey Lance is the best running back in Dallas. That's terrible.
I'm telling you, to me, the coach, it matters a lot, especially in football. If Sean McVay has Trey Lance, there's no doubt in my mind.
Sean
McVay would get the most out of that. Give him another style quarterback. I think the 49ers just didn't have him long enough to succeed. There's something there. I'm telling you, there's something there. The 5 interceptions is easy to look at. But this is a Cowboys team that I think is going to be a hot mess, so it kind of works in their favor.
I still have them. 10, 11 wins. I still have them up there.
How do you have this team? I just don't.
We've got our NFL breakdown. Our NFL previews are coming up here.
10, 11 wins. I just think that's really high on a team that didn't do absolutely nothing in the offseason. They have no running back. Apparently, James James Cook? Yeah.
Alvin Cook.
He's on a plane. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good luck there, Jerry.
Come on, mad, Derek.
He's on a plane. Okay. How'd your plane ride go? Come on. This is ridiculous. They're just trying to smug up movies here in Dallas. Come on.
I don't know, Derek. I know you've got thoughts on Trey Lance here.
I didn't like. I know he had the 5 turnovers, but a lot of that does have to do with their style of play. And I think there's some quarterbacks that never show any positives. He has shown some positives. And then when you throw 5 turnovers and you could lose a lot of guys right then, he continued to push through. And so he showed some positive signs. He had 323 yards. There's been quarterbacks that never got 323 yards. Yeah. And he's got a lot of the spotlight on him right now. And I think when he learned, sometimes the game is moving a little too fast for these guys. But when you continue to give them reps like he's getting, and then the game starts to slow down for them, it's not like he's a bum. So it's just sometimes being in the right situation, and you have to be patient with these guys. I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time this year because Dak has a history, I say, of being pretty healthy. And, of course, if Dak were to get hurt, they might go to Cooper Rush. But I think Trey is going to be better than people think. I think the 49ers would have never taken him in the first place. They saw something that a lot of people didn't see. And the guy has some skills, and he can run the ball. And that's a big thing in today's game. So he just happens to be stuck with Mike McCarthy right now. And you look at those coaches are kind of like in disarray. So I can't fault him for that. I think you give him a little time. I think he's going to be a very serviceable, possibly even a good quarterback.
Yeah, if you give him Sean McVay, apparently he's a Hall of Famer.
I'm just saying, if Sean McVay keeps up, he is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Tell me that, Gio. Come on.
If Sean McVay keeps it up, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But enough about McVay. Give him some of these offensive. Imagine him with Mike McDaniel. It's so many other coaches, offensive-minded coaches, who can. Tua, Rudy, come on. When he was with Flores, let's be real. You didn't believe in him. He just got a contract extension. Coaches matter. To me, offensive-minded coaches normally make a lot of sense here. And Mike McCarthy, when he got hired, he talked about how he spent the offseason looking at every play every team did and this and that. He changed his offense. What a bunch of baloney, honestly. If Mike McCarthy's not with the Cowboys, honestly, he wouldn't be coaching again. If he did, he wouldn't be very good. The teams have all been good. Jerry's done a good job with that team, but Mike McCarthy, I'm telling you, he's going to get fired. It's going to be the same ring around the rosy.
Gio, this is what my coach said back in New Jersey. Bill Fitch, who's a 3-time champion, with Larry Bird's coach. Mike McCarthy's on the next train smoking.
And the fact that they didn't extend him, Derek, doesn't give the vote of confidence.
We already know him and we said they're both going to be probably exiting. That's Dak and Mike McCarthy. Only difference is Mike McCarthy is going to be exiting as a head coach and will probably never be a head coach again. Dak will catch on somewhere else as a starting quarterback.
Do we really think Dak's going to be gone? after this year, even if he doesn't sign?
I do. I really. That's why they didn't sign him. They ready to work now. They ready to focus on Micah Parsons.
Man,
so that's what does that. What does that tell you? If they focus on CD, which I told you would be the first guy they focus on, if you remember.
Yeah.
And now they're going to focus on Micah Parsons. So that they're putting the pressure on Dak, man. I mean, a 1-year deal. You go out and do your job. They're not going to give Dak $55-60 million in Dallas. That's not going to happen. So he's going to probably have to look elsewhere. Even if he has a good season this year, which I expect them to go 11-6, I still don't see them bringing him back next year.
11. The only reason why I see them win 11 is because the NFC is, as we know, it's not as strong as it has been in past seasons. The AFC is a stronger conference, so potentially. But man, they didn't do. Their best signing was Ezekiel Elliott, Rudy. A man who looks like he has a sandbag on his back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Rudy, they were 12-5, Gio. Don't forget that, though.
I mean,
I know.
Not like they were 5.
I know, but I feel like teams, to me, the Lions as the team's getting better, and I don't know. I'm just not seeing
Derrick Henry was the biggest issue with me over the summer. Why they didn't bring him in, I'll never understand, man. So I'm hoping they have a good season, but to not bring in Derrick Henry, I thought that was ludicrous.
They fumbled the bag on that one.
Yeah, they apparently, according to Derek, they didn't even reach out. Is what you didn't even give him a call.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That they didn't give him a call at all.
Pollard's gone now to Tennessee. You really don't have much going on. And I know Zeke's back. I know Zeke's going to provide that veteran presence. What else is
We're at the lunch line? The guy
Zeke is Chris Perry now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope Zeke will listen to this, man. Hey, you know what, Derek? Zeke might have 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns, and he's going to have this clip ready to go.
Hey, you know what?
Well, Zeke, 1,000 yards, 2 yards a carry.
If Zeke is watching right now, he'll have 1,000 yards going from the locker room to the buffet table. That's the way he's going to get that 1,000 yards.
500 carries for 1,000 yards.
Yeah, 500 carries for 1,000 yards. He's not going to. Zeke is Zeke, man. You know what? He was good coming out of Ohio State. You never really draft a quarterback that high. I mean, honestly, even guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, they're difference makers, but I've always been one where I don't draft the running back super duper high. Running backs are a dime a dozen.
Rudy, do you know that Dan Orlovsky picked your team to possibly be a Super Bowl finalist?
I do, yeah, actually, and that's more because of what they did on the defense.
You're still talking down on the Atlanta Falcons.
No, he doesn't even believe on his own team, Derek. He don't even like his own team.
No. I'm not talking down. I'm talking down on the fact of getting the running back. When Zeke was drafted, it was one of the top picks, and that's where I'm saying I wouldn't draft a running back. Me personally, I wouldn't draft a running back. Top 10, top 12. I mean, unless it's an absolute, massive guy. So. They drafted Bijan. I'm not saying that they're gonna be terrible. I like the moves. They're Super Bowl picks because of the moves they made on the defensive side of the ball recently. That's the reason why they're moving up on a lot of people's power rankings. The offense will be good.
Why are they so skeptical now with these running backs? Is it because of the Todd Gurley situation?
That's part of it. But it's also because the running back position has watered down a whole lot. It's an air raid type of league, man. It really is. I mean, now you've got the two-way quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson. You got guys that can scramble. Now when quarterbacks are scrambling, it's Patrick Mahomes throwing it, sidearm. It's this and that. So the focus is on QBs and focuses on receivers. The running back position, it's not like back in the day where it was Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, Barry Sanders, where you knew the running back was one of the key figures on the offensive side. Now, it's not so much. That's why you have a whole lot of dual back committee, back by committee type of teams.
Yeah, I think
Chicks love the long ball.
the first one was probably Zeke, because Zeke every year after his rookie year, you saw a drop off, which is kind of crazy just to think about it. But Zeke, I'll say this: a prime Zeke was really good. Prime Todd was really good too. I mean, you saw he had 20 something touchdowns. He even played for Coach Jeff Fisher when he called the Rams a middle school offense. But the running back position has dwindled. We see a lot of Austin Eckler types, which is very valuable these days because Austin still has a job.
Mm-hmm.
The days of the days of the ground and pound, no pun intended, is not.
Yeah,
I mean, Derrick Henry he's different. Derrick, that's a different beast right there.
Yeah,
and the way he carries it, and he's more of a high kind of running back. He takes a lot of contact. But it's sad to see because there are some running backs who deserve, I think, to get paid. But at this present time, the market isn't particularly well for them. And the quarterback's going to continue to go up, and the running back it could peak again. We'll see. But these teams throw so much, Rudy. I mean, teams are just slinging it around these days, and they pick up running backs off the street.
Yeah, and that's the part I'm saying is that it's crazy how the running back was a prominent. I mean, you used to pay running backs, and then now all of a sudden,
Adrian Peterson. Those days are gone. You guys telling me at least for the near future.
He was the last MVP, right, Derek?
Yeah,
for a running back. Christian McCaffrey might do that, but Christian's he's a big time receiver. He does a little bit of everything. He's different, right? That's a different breed. He's
the Marshall Faulk. I'm saying today. Yeah, those type of guys that can do some of everything out of the backfield. Yeah. I can understand that. They want points now, and it is the receivers, and that if you know that when they paying receivers $34, $35 million now.
Yeah.
I mean, Marshall Faulk was a special kid. I mean, special guy or kid when he started playing, but man, he was special.
It makes me wonder how, if you look at the Chiefs with Patrick and Travis Kelce, how their running back situation is kind of tough because it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, it's Isaiah Pacheco. But could you imagine on that type of offense if you had a prime Jamal Charles, Priest Holmes from back in the day? In today's football era, that's a hybrid running back right there because, you're talking, Priest Holmes, Jamal Charles, those guys in the Chiefs offense, they're technically receivers, man. They're like slot receivers and they're fast. So those guys would benefit now, but the traditional running back, I mean, like you said, outside of Derrick Henry, I really couldn't even name another one in the league. And at that, I mean, maybe Najee Harris is probably another one that's kind of a traditional running back, kind of ground and pound a little bit. But these days, if you don't have two prominent running backs, you're probably gonna be on the decline. I mean, the Colts have Jonathan Taylor; they're gonna run Jonathan Taylor into the ground. I mean that you don't do that anymore in the NFL. So, yeah, for me, running backs are just. Right now, you can go get them, like if you're shopping at Solo Serve, man, they're going to be on the discount aisle on the draft. So you just go grab as many as you can because you know what? You run them for 4 years, and then 4 years later, you can go get the same style of back in the college draft, and you'll be okay. You don't have to pay for running backs because they're always coming out, and they're always going to be there. That's kind of the way that a lot of people look at it right now when it comes to the running back position. This is Sweep the League. It's a Tuesday edition. It's a tough Tuesday edition. It's Coach Gio's Derek Gervin, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos. When we get back, we're going to end the show. It's going to be our last commercial break here. When we get back, 2025, Spurs fans are ready for Cooper Flagg, but why am I trying to tell Spurs fans, like Derek is pointing out, you don't have to have the number 1 pick to get to Cooper Flagg. You could get him at number 3. Confused? I'm sure a lot of you guys are. We're going to talk to Derek and Gio when we get back here. This is Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Gervin. Coach Gio will be back in 1 second. Howdy from Texas. You've got to be tired of the sizzling electric bills. than the Texas heat, right? Well, partner, we've got the solution for you. Introducing Castro and Son Solar, harnessing the power of the sun to save you some serious cash. Their top-notch solar panels will have you soaking up the savings in no time. Imagine lower electric bills, a reduced carbon footprint, and the satisfaction of going green. Their expert team will take care of everything from installation to maintenance. We're talking hassle-free, worry-free, and stress-free solar solutions. So why wait? Join the solar revolution with Castro and Son Solar. Let the Texas sun shine bright and your savings shine even brighter. Castro and Son Solar, empowering your home one sunbeam at a time. Call them today and let's get this solar party started. Spurs fans, are you ready to stay ahead of the game of the San Antonio Spurs with the best coverage in the business? Tune in to Locked On Spurs, the daily podcast that brings you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and all the latest news and updates for your silver and black. Join Jeff Garcia, the most informative and entertaining host in the game, as he breaks down all Spurs news and notes, interviews the biggest names, and keeps you locked into all things Spurs. From Monday to Friday, get ready to start your day with the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out on the expert opinions, the hot takes, and the can't miss guests. Make sure you're locked in with Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to their YouTube channel now and stay ahead of the game all season long. Locked On Spurs. It's the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out.
You are watching my favorite sports show online, Sweep the League TV with Rudy and Derek Gervin. Wait, I mean the UTSA Hall of Fame Derek Gervin. Make sure to support this amazing show and subscribe to their channel.
Thanks for watching Sweep the League TV. Subscribe, post your comments below, and have fun.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. It's Coach Gio. It's Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. It's Rudy Campos Jr. Last segment's going to be brought to you by MCS General Contracting, La Cocina Taco Truck, Special Leaf Tea, also Castro and Son Solar. Shout out to Locked On Spurs. Jeff, if you're listening, you can use this subject if you want on the next Locked On Spurs. So just throwing it out there. But
hey, Rudy,
what's up?
We got to update that commercial, my man, because they don't mention Gio on there, and that for me that is the show. We're a threesome here, so they got to get that. Yeah, they got to fix that, man. I love the commercial, but it's missing a big part of the show.
I didn't even notice that. I barely pay attention. I just play the commercials that are on the thing, so I didn't even notice that. I apologize. I'm gonna
fix that. At least someone cares on this show.
I do.
I care, man.
I'm just playing.
Man. You're important. We wouldn't be who we are on the show without you.
Hell yeah, man. We can't do nothing without Coach Gio, man. Can't do nothing without Coach Gio. Coach Gio's the man around here. Even though he takes more time off than all of us, he's still the man here. No doubt about that. So appreciate it. You get a round of applause, man. Get a round of applause for Coach Gio there. Kind of applause. This is, like I said, the last segment was brought to you by all of our sponsors: MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, Castro and Son Solar, and La Cocina Taco Truck. I went mind blank for a minute there. So, Spurs fans are getting ready for 2025. Haven't even started the season. Cooper Flag. It's in Cooper Flag we trust. Every Spurs fan is drooling of the fact that you could see Cooper Flag and Victor Wembanyama together. You know, the unstoppable duo. But Derek, I made mention to you. I said, looking at video, looking at certain things, I don't necessarily think Cooper Flag is the best prospect in next year's draft. I actually have two guys higher than him. They both are going to play for Rutgers this coming season. Dylan Harper, son of a former NBA player, Ron Harper, and Ace Bailey. If I'm a Spurs fan, I am happy at number 3. I'm happy at number 5, 6, 7. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of great talent in this draft, but is it crazy to think that Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey could potentially be drafted before Cooper Flagg.
Yes, it's possible. For the Spurs, Cooper will still be my pick if they were able to get him, because I think Dylan Harper, with us having Stephen Castle, we don't need Dylan Harper. But as far as the overall draft, yes, those two guys, Ace Bailey, a lot of people need to look up this kid. When I looked at him on video and several videos, he's going to be a keeper. His only thing I told you, Rudy, that bothers me a little is he's kind of like KD mentally. He can be his own worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you talk about skill-wise, and just as a basketball player, yeah, that young man has the potential to be the first pick in the draft. And I can see Dylan Harper for the right team being number 2 as well. And so they need to check out these guys. It's not saying Cooper's dropping in the draft, but
No.
he's got some guys that's right over, looking right over his shoulder. And it's Ace Bailey and it's Dylan Harper for sure.
Yeah, I mean the draft is it's super loaded. VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor's another one. Drake Powell, North Carolina shooting guard. I mean Nolan Traore, he's from I believe France. Derek Nolan, you got to look at him because he's got some comparisons to Rod Strickland. That says a lot at a point guard position because you don't hear Rod's name coming up very, very much. So, yeah, I mean, there's just ton of talent in 2025. Gio, does it upset you that Cooper Flagg, one Duke Blue Devil, Cooper Flagg may not be worthy of a top pick because, oh my God, a Duke Blue Devil, not a top pick. That's unheard of these days.
Well, look, only time will tell. And the beauty of all this talk, we'll be able to see these gentlemen play very, very, very soon. It seems like college basketball just around the corner. But Cooper Flagg, we saw him in that what was that practice or the glorified scrimmage, right, in the USA or whatever you want to call it. He played very well, looked mature for his age. So I'm definitely, of course, a homer for Duke. I know Rudy always jokes that I have all these teams, but no, Cooper Flagg. I mean, look, it's kind of, I can't really say much because I just kind of see what's going on in the regular season. You kind of feel the style of play of these gentlemen, but I think Cooper Flagg is going to be a stud, and Ace Bailey is going to be good too as well. But only time will tell, gentlemen.
Yeah, time will tell, man. And that's the thing. I wanted to bring that up because it's kind of crazy how, I mean, the top 14 picks right now being, talked about in next year's draft, when the worst case scenario is Liam Neely, I believe, out of UConn at the 14th prospect, and his comparisons are Keegan Murray. I wouldn't mind a Keegan Murray type player, for San Antonio Spurs. I mean, a great shooter, spot up shooter. I mean, I'm loving next year's draft. No doubt about it. I got one more thing. We got one more thing to bring up. I'm going to bring up the screen here. Derek, if you haven't seen it, I love doing this with you guys because it's the initial reaction that we get by sharing stuff. So our Sweep the League initial moment is happening right now. So what would you rather have? What's more impressive, gentlemen? Michael Jordan's 10 scoring titles in 15 years or LeBron's 40,000 points in 21 years? What's more impressive? That was just by a fan on X. And I said, you know what? Let me ask the guys here tonight. So we're putting them on the spotlight, Sweep the League spotlight tonight. What's more impressive, Derek? We'll go to you first.
That's a funny question to me because you already know my answer. It's not even a comparison. I've told you, for me, it's the 10 scoring. It's Michael Jordan, period.
Yeah.
I've seen both eras. I played in Mike's era, and I'm not saying it because I played in his era. I'm just going by, if I want to win basketball games, I want Michael Jordan, the same guy that went 6-0 and won 6 scoring titles. 6 championships, MVPs. I can go on and on. But 10 scoring titles, you're talking to a guy who made his living as a scorer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there can be insignificant stats by certain players. You can get all these stats like a Russell Westbrook, But do you ever hear Russell Westbrook when you talk about the top 5 point guards in history? No,
Never.
because there's things called stat padding. Did those does padding your stats make your team better? And that's not always the case. So for me, it's easily the 10 scoring titles and Michael Jordan, man, Air Jordan. It's not even a question.
Yeah, I mean, if you add 6 more years to Mike's career, he's over the 40,000 plateau mark.
He won 40% of his championship. He won 40%. LeBron is down there he went 4 out of 21 years. That's like 18%. So they're 40% over and 18%.
Yeah, I like what Joel said. Dude, if you don't get to 40,000 points in 21 years while being deemed the king, then something went wrong along the way. I kind of have to agree
Rudy,
with that. Yes,
40,000 playing against in an era with limited defense.
Yeah.
Where they made it easy. You can't touch a guy. And you playing against a lot of kids, I'll call them, 18, 19-year-olds, as opposed to Mike getting his 10 scoring titles playing against grown men who had played at least 3 or 4 years of college. So for me, it's not even a comparison.
Yeah, and it's funny you brought up the kids because this year's rookie class, when Zach Edey is probably being voted, the rookie of the year early before the season starts, that kind of tells you a little something. Even though I think Zach's going to be a really good pro, he's on the right team. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, that just kind of shows you that kids like Sarr and Reece Archier, they're not good, man. They were not good when we were talking about them, and that's not going to change overnight. So, Gio, Jordan's 10 scoring titles or LeBron's 40,000 points? Wait, which one would you take?
Dude, is this a joke?
No,
am I being punked right now, Derek?
Post.
This is an actual
man, we got
post.
72.5 thousand views. It's not a joke to this guy. That's for sure.
As this post says, dude, the guy played 21 years in an era that plays no defense.
Yeah.
People jacking up shots every night as you see it on TV. It's hard to watch sometimes this NBA game. It's clearly Jordan's 10 scoring titles. And that to me is crazy because he played in an era where they actually play defense, where they would actually, whether it's right or wrong, would literally fight you. Right? They'll literally put you on your what if you went to the lane. This is what Jordan did. And Jordan's also top 10 in score. And he didn't shoot threes. Did not shoot threes. Yeah. He's scoring around the basket. He's doing jump shots. So Michael Jordan's 10 scoring titles, along with his defensive player of the year and one of the great defensive perimeter players this league has ever seen. To me, LeBron James, he's stat padding. It's just, you can't really put it at 21 years. Of course, he should. If Michael Jordan played 21 years, you damn sure Jordan would have been number one. It's just bound to happen.
50,000.
Yeah,
50,000 points if he played 21 years.
So this is ask how many ridiculous. And I know all the LeBron fanboys, bronze sections, whatever you call them nowadays, they're going to say, oh, no, it's the 40K. Dude, 10 scoring titles is very impressive, but that is so much more than just that. The championships. And I'm telling you, if y'all, who's ever listening, if you haven't seen The Last Dance, please go watch it because it is a sight to see. During COVID, that was great to see. I might go see it again, Rudy, because it just reminds me of how great Jordan's and the stories going into the locker room, telling somebody, hey, good luck tonight, bro. I'm going to put 50 on you. This is the type of stuff he was doing. You think LeBron's doing that? No, LeBron's not doing that. LeBron wants everybody.
Derek would say.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, lace him up, bro, because it's going to be a long night for you. This type of stuff, it's just the lore. Listen, 40K is 40K. Listen, it's great. It's all that stuff. But listen, to this day, I say it. Michael Jordan's the GOAT, and I don't want to talk about this no more. I'm done.
All right, he's done. I get Gio's rant. I wanted to put this on the screen for you guys to get a little rant in here at the end of the show here. Got to get the juices flowing for the rest of the week.
Rudy, but let me make sure people understand. We're not saying who doesn't know LeBron James is a great player?
Oh, no.
I mean, come on. That goes without saying. Right? No, I'm saying, I'm making sure people understand. None of us are saying that. We all know how great LeBron is. It's a comparison But if you talk about 10 scoring titles, man, my brother won 4. Allen Iverson won 4. Kevin Durant won 4. Will Chamberlain won 7. And we know Wilt averaged 50. But when you're talking about 10, when everyone's coming at your neck, and literally show Isaiah Thomas climbing on his neck. People literally coming at your neck. And he was healthy, and he also played 82 games most of those years. And I think people forget that. He didn't sit out. He wasn't load managing. He's playing physical basketball. 82 games this guy's playing, and he's averaging 30 points on 50% shooting.
And not only him, a lot of other guys. Karl Malone was an Iron Man. That guy's playing every night. It's just, and it goes back to that Anthony Edwards statement he made. It's just so laughable to say that the players in Jordan's day was not skilled enough. I mean, these guys practice. And Rudy, you know the schedule back then was right. They don't barely have back-to-backs anymore. They have basically taken out these back-to-back-to-backs because the players are complaining.
We play back-to-back, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, they're playing back-to-back. And some of these teams in the Midwest traveling, dude, I just don't know how you make a statement like that and just not chuckle. It's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about.
Gio, I'm glad that's a great. We played 4 games in 5 nights.
Yeah.
With no chartered flights.
Yeah. I mean that was the day back then. In 20 years, will A'ja Wilson be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Derek? I mean,
she's already a first ballot Hall of Fame.
As soon as she retires, she just waits the minimum 5 years and she's in.
Well, pretty soon you won't even have to retire. You know, they change stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll be able to go straight, and soon the first year you'll be eligible. But A'ja, if you look at it, Tim, the reason I say that is not just her scoring. She rebounds. I mean, she does a lot for her team. And if you take her off the Aces, they're not even in the playoffs. So yeah, no, without question, she's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
100%. These kids today would have no chance against the Jordan era. They are soft. They really are. I mean, it's a different era. That's why it's so ridiculous to have the GOAT conversation, because it's eras. I mean, we know what Jordan can do in this era. We know LeBron can play in the past. We know he could play in that era. I have no doubt LeBron could play in that era, but he wouldn't be the same LeBron. He wouldn't be king. There's no doubt about that. He's not
picture Embiid, Rudy. Picture Embiid, all that falling around. He's out there playing against a Kareem Jabbar or Akeem Olajuwon, all that stuff. He's out there flopping around like a fish out of water, and you playing against these great guys. I mean, come on, man, you got to strap it up, man.
And it's so many other guys we talk about that we never really mentioned, but there's guys on all these teams that were very talented guys who could shoot. You know, we'll talk about Alonzo Mourning, but he was a beast in the middle there. There's so many other guys better than most, mostly, if not all centers, but besides Ivan Jokic and some of the guys, but all these centers that we don't even talk about just because there's just a long list of dudes that played in an era. And you look at what? Derek Coleman, who can shoot. He's a lefty. Man, it's just so many other guys that we don't have time to even talk about that skill.
Hey, Gio, Bam Adebayo or Alonzo Mourning. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Anybody that doesn't know about Alonzo Mourning, they better pull up some video.
Alonzo could play. I mean, just thinking about the guys that don't get enough. Mitch Richmond was, I mean, such a talented scorer. You know, played for the Kings, took them to the playoffs. It's just,
And can I say this quickly, Rudy, before we go off the air about Anthony Edwards talking about skills? I'm gonna go just to guards. You remember a guy named Baron Davis?
Yeah.
Oh man.
You remember a guy named Stevie Francis?
Yeah. Versus Maryland.
Kevin Johnson.
Yep.
I'm gonna just leave it right there. Okay, since he said it was only Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this: in today's era of basketball, is it safe to say that Billy Owens would probably average close to a triple-double?
And I'm laughing, but yeah, he could.
Exactly. I mean, a player that nobody would probably ever mention ever in their lifetime right now if I went to a kid and said, Billy Owens would probably average close to a triple double, they'll say, "Who? Billy? Who? Like, is that even a
He really
basketball
would.
player?"
Rudy, he really would. It might not be 20 points a night, but
No,
he's going to get you 15 points, and he's going to get you 8, 9 rebounds a game, and he's going to get you 8 assists a game.
exactly. I mean, he's going to be close to a triple double. So, I mean, there's so many guys from back in the day. If you pick them out of that era and put them in this era of basketball, I mean, hell, you're talking all-stars, you're talking MVP caliber type players. I mean, it's crazy to think that you can throw any name from then back into this era today, and they would be
Look at
one of
Glenn
the best
Rice.
players in the league. Glenn Rice would
Boy,
be
Glenn
a
Rice,
guy
fucking
was a
shooter.
dog. He was a dog.
Glenn Rice getting 30. Glenn Rice getting 30 today, Gio. I'm
That's a
serious.
dog, man. I'm telling you right now, that guy could.
Glenn Rice and Glenn Robinson, big dog.
That's
my
another
God.
big a real big dog.
Glenn Robinson.
There's so
in
many
today's era.
guys. I mean, look at Tim Hardaway. I know we never mentioned his name, but the killer crossover can do a lot of different things. Why make that? I still can't believe he made that statement.
That's
What
why,
was
Gio, that's the only reason they don't talk about him. Yeah.
No, I know.
Because of that statement. Yeah.
But just in general, just so many guys, and if we can bring them to this league.
White chocolate. Jason Williams, white chocolate.
Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
A Deadlift Shrimp. He give him opportunities in today's offense.
Yeah.
Triple double.
A triple double machine. Really kind of reminds me of like a Sabonis almost. Not the father, but the son.
Yeah. One guy, and we'll not end it, but I mean, one guy to mention, this guy would be a starter. This guy wasn't even a starter back then. But in today's league, he would be a starter. You guys remember Bobby Jackson from Sacramento?
Yeah, come on, man.
He would be a
man.
starter today in this league. I mean, and he would be a prominent scorer in this league. But he was backing up Mike Bibby at the time.
Yeah.
In Sacramento. I'm like, it just amazes me how the past, NBA history just completely gets overlooked, man.
Last guy, Rudy, before we can let these people go. Last guy, number 20 for the San Antonio Spurs in this era.
Number 20. I mean,
Manu.
I'm going to say Manu Ginobili's 20.
Ginobili.
Prime time.
In this era. In an open game like this. A guy who Kobe Bryant talked about consistently. Picture him in this era. And you talk about the flash and all that. Wouldn't he still fit perfectly in this era? And he'll throw it down on you in a minute down the lane?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. That Manu Ginobili in this era would be hands down. And God, we can mention so many people, man. But if you couldn't touch this guy, they can't hand check you today. I've said it a million times to you guys, and I'm gonna say it another million times until I'm on my last breath. I think my last words are gonna be this: you could never guard Drazen Petrovic in today's game, ever.
Hey guys,
Steph Curry would be the second best shooter in today's game.
I believe that.
One more player. He wasn't a big name, but Kenny Smith said he was one of the worst guys to go up against. And you'd be surprised by the name, but Dana Barros, that guy could score.
We've always mentioned him.
Boston College in
that
the house.
guy, he had a 50-point game with the Rockets, a 41, a 39. If he's in today's NBA, just a guy like that who obviously isn't a big particular name, but can just score the basket.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking. Bobby Jackson, Minnesota Gophers. Petrovic was I mean, that's what I'm saying. Steph Curry would be the second best shooter in the league, and it wouldn't even be close. Like if you could have touched Drazen coming off those screens, there's no way.
Wait, Rudy, I love you, but it would be close now.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
When you got a guy shooting from 30 and turning around, going down the other way before it goes in, it would be close. But I'm gonna be a little biased towards Drazen. but I can never take away Steph Curry when it comes to shooting that basketball.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Olympics.
Yeah, we did see that in the
I have
Olympics,
to
man.
remind you, Olympics.
I forgot about Olympics, man. I forgot about Olympic play. He's reminding Alex English, Joel Cologne's back in here saying, Derek, did you play against Ramon Ramos when he was at Seton Hall, or was he in college after you?
He was in college after me, but he did play for PJ Carlesimo. He was after me, but I know about Big Ramon. You're talking about a big, strong guy there, especially in that 10 to 15 feet area. A very strong guy. Not as strong possibly as Karl Malone, but a very strong guy and had a decent career.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? And I've always talked about guys I've always wanted to talk to or maybe interview. One guy I've always wanted to talk to, Derek and Gio. I don't know, Joe, if you remember him. If you do, that'd be awesome. But I always wanted to have a sit down with Terry DeHare from Seton Hall. I don't even know why. I just used to like his game when he played at Seton
Would you
Hall.
want to get him on the show? Because I talked to a guy that's one of the guys that I talk to when I'm dealing with the National Basketball Players Association by the name of Anthony Avent. Anthony played on that team. Yeah, well, he played with Terry DeHare. If you want me to try to see if we could locate Terry, I'll do that for you.
You know, to be honest, it's one of those like I don't know why. I just used to like watching him play from back in the day at Seton Hall. I mean, another guy like I thought, man, this guy's going to be good in the NBA. He's going to have a really good NBA career. Same thing with, Steve Logan from Cincinnati, from Sean Respert from Michigan State. There was so many guys that I watched. I was like, they could have good NBA careers, but I think it's just a matter of where they went. I think Steve Logan was drafted by the Warriors and Respert was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks. I can't remember. I think DeHare was drafted by the Nets, if I'm not. It was the Nets or the Clippers. Can't remember.
I'm gonna write Anthony Avent, man. See if we can get Terry.
Hell, I know we got to go, man. I love talking this with you guys, but would Lamont Murray been a really good player in this era? That's
I think so. I think so. Tracy Murray, Lamont Murray. Yeah.
Any Murray besides DeJounte, right?
Well, Lamont, no, if you look at it, Lamont can score. It's the era where they don't let you touch guys. So any real scorer can play in the era when there's no physicality. They only let you play physical now when it's the playoff time. So you're talking about guys having really good regular season. I don't know what happened in the playoffs when you let them tighten up the defense, but yeah, in the regular season, it would be exciting for fans because that's what they want. Is guys that can put up points.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, it's just the NBA. If you're listening, just bring back some defense, man. Today's NBA, and I'm sure Derek will agree. It's hard to watch at times. Sometimes I just gotta turn the TV off.
It's boring.
It's just I'd rather watch a college basketball game for the most part sometimes than the actual NBA game.
Gio, and this is the truth, and I felt kind of bad. I didn't watch not one game the regular season, an entire game, not one.
I don't doubt it. I never did.
I'm being honest. I just couldn't do it. 48 minutes seemed like it was an eternity, and it was basically just a horse competition. Guys just shooting 3-pointers or around the world, and we used to play around the world when we were younger and. Horse, and I don't want to see that. I want to see professional basketball.
I'll never forget when I went to that Spurs game against the Pacers. The Spurs lost by like 50. And I've never seen. It was just they couldn't play any defense, and obviously it's a bad team. But everyone's just throwing up shots, hope it goes in, and you just wonder, man, who can watch this every night? I couldn't. So I'm with you there, Derek. I'd rather watch it. It's crazy to say I'd rather watch a baseball game than I watch an NBA game
or WNBA.
Yeah, or WNBA game. Having that now, I got football coming on, so that's definitely a must.
Hey,
I'm with you. Hey, here we go. Yes, sir.
The Rams will play the Lions in a few weeks. There, Derek.
I think we got a bet going there. We got to get some kind of bet.
I'm a basketball guy, but I love the NFL, man. Let's get ready to get it pumping.
The Rams released, or not released, but they traded their starting linebacker in Ernest Jones. The Rams couldn't get a contract extension going, so they've basically traded him for a bean burrito and that one burger that Rudy had. So,
God, that was a good burger. Don't remind me. That's a good burger.
Also, one last thing I want to mention.
Yeah,
this is baseball related. Seattle Mariners fired their manager, Scott Service. Disappointed in the organization. The man didn't find out until he found out through social media. Just imagine being in a job for 9 years and you find out through some article or some sort of tweet or something like that. It's disappointing for the Mariners, a team who has had high hopes this season, but right now kind of flailing a bit. But Mariners, just do better. And please, ownership, spend some freaking money. I'm sick and tired of these analytical guys bringing these guys who think they can hit and then they can't hit. These analytics are just getting on my nerves. And I know, Derek, we talk about it here in the NBA, but sometimes analytics, just put the damn tape. Can they play? Yes or no, man?
No more
Ken Griffey Jr. is rolling over in his bed.
It got so bad the Mariners brought back Edgar Martinez as a hitting coach for the rest of the year. I don't know.
There you go, Joel. It's a shame that the GM put the team together, but the manager gets fired. That's 100%.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Baseball, look, you put the team together. The management in baseball a little bit different. They don't have a whole lot of power, but obviously there needs to be a fall guy, and Scott Service is the fall guy. So just want to talk about that real quick. The Mariners, do better, please.
Yeah, they will. So real last comment here, Derek. You have a chance to see Cooper Flag in person, Duke versus SMU in Dallas. Also, Duke women's will visit SMU in Dallas. So apparently we can maybe take a trip to Dallas and watch the Duke Blue Devils. You guys can go. I'm not going to go. If I go, I'll wear
I might get to say hello to Tim in person. Hey, Tim, thank you, man. You've been a big supporter of this show. You've been very consistent, man. So
Tim's almost here every night or every day. I mean, for the most part.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's a good thing. And yes, the analytics do suck. So, yeah, nonetheless, man, we spent the night talking about Trey Lance, the Cowboys, WNBA. Kind of got a little fired up on the WNBA talk there. Also, some NBA talk here. We opened up the vault, like we do from time to time, talking about the NBA, mentioning players that never get mentioned, but who would be dominant in today's era of basketball. So, love talking to all you guys out there. Appreciate everybody that joined us on the stream. Appreciate you. We're up to 360 subscribers on YouTube now. So head to YouTube, go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV. We got a whole bunch more coming up. We've got Big Texas Comic Con and all their announcements coming up here pretty soon. That's in October. I'll be at San Japan this weekend. So if you're going to San Japan in San Antonio, downtown, I'll be there. So say hi. You want to grab a water. I don't drink, so grab a water. We can grab a water, do whatever. Just not a hamburger. I already had my hamburger limit for the entire year, but also UTSA football kicks off this weekend downtown. So it's going to be packed. I already know it, but again, we're going to be covering UTSA football for everybody here at Sweep the League. So, one last thing before we go, I want to live everybody. I posted something on Twitter. I've gotten a lot of responses on it, and I've got a few text messages. Just know that I'm going to be taking some time off. And Derek, I'm going to talk to you after the show. I'll give you a call later today about it. But I'm going to be taking bits and pieces of time off of the show for a little bit. We've got some stuff going on, but appreciate all the prayers and all the great feedback. Once we get everything squared away, we'll definitely get everybody up to date. But Trey Collis is a local guy in San Antonio. He's done work with Gio, myself. He's done work with Derek as well. Trey was on the radio show for a little bit. We had him on a couple of podcasts. There's going to be nights where Trey Collis is going to be filling in for myself or a couple of the guys here. So you might see Trey Collis on Sweep the League. Be sure to give him the same kind of love that you guys give me and everybody else here. But nonetheless, it's not going anywhere. Sweep the League's it's perfectly fine. What's going on in the background has nothing to do with Sweep the League. We're actually growing leaps and bounds. So for everybody on X or Twitter, appreciate you reaching out to me. Again, you can text me, you can DM me. If I answer it, I answer it. If I don't, just understand that. But just give everybody a heads up on that real quick here. But till tomorrow, I'll get the time for everybody. We either go during the afternoon or possibly just run a rerun maybe of this show for tomorrow night. We'll see what happens time-wise, but nonetheless, definitely Thursday and Friday for sure. We got to get our NFL preview in. So the next few shows are going to be NFL previews because the season starts next week. We got to get all that going. So for Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, for Coach Gio, it is Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again next time, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.
You guys have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Appreciate everybody.
Hey there, sports fans. I'm Ashley, your go-to girl for all things sports here on Sweep the League. Welcome to our daily news reports where we'll be covering the latest updates from the NFL, NBA, WNBA, college sports, and more. We're thrilled to be a part of the rapidly growing Sweep the League network, bringing you fast and fresh news updates every day. Make sure to subscribe to Sweep the League TV on YouTube for even more in-depth analysis and discussions with our amazing team Monday through Friday. Huge thank you to our incredible sponsors in San Antonio for their support. We couldn't do it without you. So let's get started. I'm Ashley, and I'll be sweeping the league for you every day. Stay tuned for the latest sports news and updates.
You're watching Sweep the League TV. Shout out to Rudy, Coach Gio, and Derek Irvin. Keep going, guys.
Shout out to SOTV and STL Music. I love the music, and hell yes, they paid me to say it. Commercials are not free, honey. Did you share our YouTube yet? Why not? Go watch Sweep the League TV right now and support my guys. Rudy, Gio, Derek, and crew only talk sports and have fun. They don't have any bad vibes, just amazing fans. We love everyone.